So right now we are going to have our second sponsor talk by Adriano Galano. Adriano Galano is HPE's artificial intelligence and HPC specialist for the Southern Europe region. He has several, I say several and not a lot of years, several years of experience in the field. And he's going to talk about HPE GreenLake for large language models. So whenever you're ready, Adriano.
Okay, good morning. I think that most of you knows me, but a part of this presentation, my title, I'm the official photographer of the RES meeting, and El Cubanito for the rest of the friends. Okay, so jokes apart, my presentation today is about HPE GreenLake for large language model. It's a presentation, but it's an announcement. So at the same time, we are doing both things, so I make parallelization. And I would try to explain you what we are announcing today and what we are developing in the coming months, years, hopefully, in this area. I hope that you have some questions at the end. Okay, so this is written down. So we are now living the wave of the high expectation of generative AI. It seems that the AI started with ChatGPT in November 2022, but all that spend time on artificial intelligence, we know that AI started in 1950 or something like that, but it's now the moment of generative AI. And generative AI is disrupting every industry where we are working on. All the people, journalists, lawyers, CEO, all the people is talking about generative AI now because they are playing with ChatGPT. It's changing the anatomy of the world, especially knowledge worker. The people say, oh, AGI destroy employees. No, AGI will be complementary for some works, especially knowledge works. For example, lawyers or consultants or physicians or other areas of the society that we employing or are starting employing already artificial intelligence, especially this field of generative AI. What we have here is one study that was developed also for one university here in Spain that shows that the trend on large language model is each month, each day, it appears new large language model, bigger than before, and we have explosion of large language model. If you consult one of the most popular hub for models is Hugging Face, you have 300,000 large language models. Some of them open source, some of them mixed closed source, open source, and some proprietary models. But we have access to a lot of models, large, not so large, and mid, but there are explosion of large language model. And this explosion of large language model means explosion of needs of compute. This doubling the needs of the Moore law, because training, and this is important statement from today, training is a HPC workload. Okay, so when you need to execute training of large language model, you are using a capacity in dedicated model of a machine. Okay, so you need to scale to thousands of GPUs or AI accelerators, and you need to dedicate this workload. You can share this workload with other customers like the hyperscaler did. Okay, so that is a pattern of AI. In HP, we are answering these questions for enterprise. For this reason, we are identified 3 roles in the enterprise: the CEO, the person that responsible of the strategy of the company that say, I need to employ AI, or I need to be an AI-first company. We have the chief data officer, that's the people managing data analytics system, business intelligence system, and these people are one that they develop proof of concept, but the proof of concept can be delivered in production. And then we have the innovation and sustainability area, because to train a large language model is a heavy task in terms of emissions of CO2, of energy consumption, data center usage. So it's a non-sustainable task since the beginning. And this is something that we would like to address. What we are showing today is a full model. It's a full reference architecture or infrastructure covering all the aspects of large language model, including a large language model. And we developed this solution or services in combination with one startup based on Germany, in Heidelberg, named Aleph Alpha. How many of you knows who is Aleph Alpha? Raise your hand. No. Okay, 2, 3. I'm mostly from HPE. Aleph Alpha was founded for Jonas Andrulis. He's a person that worked for Apple, and he created these startups in Germany. And this is the first large language model that is fully compliant with GDPR in Europe. It's based on Europe. The model is developed on Europe and in the 5 principal European languages: English, German, Italian, Spanish, and I forget, and French. Thank you. And this is part of what we are showing today. These services will be hosted on AI native data center. What does this mean? What we are announcing here is an AI cloud. HPE is entering in the market of AI public cloud. But we are doing that, hosting this capacity in a very ready HPC AI data center. For example, some of them have some 140 megawatts of energy capacity. High sustainable data center, 90% using clean energies, hydro or photovoltaics or wind, okay? This data center will be hosted in Europe. So we are starting 2024. We will start the delivery in Europe. In September 2023, we are delivering in America, especially in North America. And in 2024, we will start the delivery in Europe of these services. What we propose here is the combination of the benefits of a public cloud, like Azure, Google Cloud, Amazon Web Services, or other hyperscaler, flexibility, agility, simplicity, this kind of benefit that the people love of the cloud, together with our capacity in terms of HPC and supercomputing. So we are providing our HPE Cray machines on cloud. So, and we are developing 3 exascale machines in the United States. So we are able to scale from 1 GPU to thousands of GPUs. And we demonstrate that we can scale to thousands of GPUs with our infrastructure. You don't have this level of technology in any hyperscaler in the world, okay? And this is very unique. This is probably the most important slide, the structure of the services. And I would like to tell it's a multi-dimensional service. In the first layer, you have infrastructure as a service. And we have here technology from our 3 main strategic alliances, Intel, AMD, and NVIDIA. Not only GPUs, we also have CPUs. So you can think on GPU for training, but you also think, I need some compute hours. 6,000 cores from Intel, Emerald Rapids, or Genoa X, or whatever we have in the cloud. So you have this capacity as instance that you can contract per hours, and you have these layers. You have the low latency network, because training is a workload that needs very special topologies in network. And it's low latency, but you need to define very well the topology of the network for training. Here we have InfiniBand NDR 400 gigabits from NVIDIA Mellanox. But at the same time, and probably some of you know, we have HPE Slingshot. One remark about HPE Slingshot. Some leaders of the industry, like AMD, Intel, HPE, Meta, Microsoft, and Arista, and Cisco, we are creating under Linux Foundation something named Ultra Ethernet Alliance. Please pay attention. Ultra Ethernet Alliance is an open standard Ethernet for HPC and AI. And this is our effort, non-proprietary layer for AI training. And we will support in our public cloud. And finally, we are supporting here a different set of parallel file systems, including Lustre or a specialized file system like Weka or Vast or different file systems for AI. And we will hosting also in our public cloud. This is the infrastructure layer. Second layer is the platform as a service layer. And here we have two interesting things. There are three different things. First, for modeling and simulation, you have Cray programming environment. The full suite for Cray, including compilers, profilers, debuggers, all that you need for develop software, a part of the open source suites. But you have Cray programming environment for modeling and simulation. For example, weather forecasting, you can use a Cray programming environment for optimizing the codes. But at the same time, we have two other software layers. One is machine learning data management, aka Pachyderm. And machine learning data management is a software to manage pipeline and workflows in machine learning environments, especially with versioning and lineage. Somebody yesterday asked about reproducible AI. This is machine learning development environment. And the good news, Pachyderm is open source. Okay, why you are not using Pachyderm? Okay, we have here the enterprise version of Pachyderm, so we can scale to thousands of pipelines. One thing. The other thing is machine learning development environment. Machine learning development environment is based in another open source software named Determine AI. Determine AI is a distributed training platform that can help you to scale from one GPU to thousands of GPUs without software modification that support any artificial intelligence framework like PyTorch, TensorFlow, or Keras. Okay? And this layer abstracts the level of infrastructure, and you are not dependent on any GPU provider. You can run this on NVIDIA GPUs, or you can run this on AMD GPUs. Okay, so you don't have any dependence on the hardware layer. And finally, in our enterprise version, machine learning development environment, we integrated this software that has Jupyter notebooks, all the pipeline. We integrate this software with a resource manager like Slurm or PBS Pro. So instead to deliver different clusters for AI or HPC, we are using a launcher, and the resource scheduler, Slurm, is who assigns the GPU machines. Okay, so this convergence between AI and HPC is already done. Okay, you got it here. Finally, Aleph Alpha large language model. Aleph Alpha is our first ISV. What means that is the first ISV? That we are planning to deliver more large language models, especially for different areas like climate fighting, like healthcare, like energy. Okay, so you have this first rectangle, but you have more rectangles in the future. Large language model from Aleph Alpha. The first large language model for Aleph Alpha is named Luminous. It's a large language model with 200 billion parameters. It's a multimodal large language model. It's text and image, for example. And at the same time, you have two things that ChatGPT doesn't have: observability and explainability. For example, we make in Hanover Mess, we make one demonstration with one robot, a manufacturing robot. And the technician operating the robot the model was trained with the manuals of the robot, okay? And in some moment during using a chat, we asked to the robot or to the technician, to the operator, is the arm of the robot in the right position? And the system returned, no, it's not synchronized. And we say, why? Because the two red lines that have to be in a row is not aligned, so the arm is not aligned. Okay, explain your answer. And then you have the picture of the arm of the robot, and you have different grids, and in the zone where you have the two red lines, you have 89% of accuracy that I tell you that this is not synchronized. Explainability and observability, okay? This is part of Luminous. What you see here, and I'm finished, you can access to Luminous for an API, you can access for a different front-end application that we can develop it, or you can develop it. And what you see here is what we will offer in our public cloud, but you can have this in your data centers. All this full stack could be on-premise, including Luminous. Okay, so we are offering to some companies, for example, companies that for security reasons couldn't share any data to internet, and some sectors like defense, military, manufacturing, and you don't have internet access on the campus. And we are offering to these companies the full stack, on-prem. Okay, so this is the view. But again, what we are showing here is a public cloud service. You can use or not, but it's a public cloud service. Okay? With that, this is a marketing slide. We are answering to the 3 key roles that we are detecting or defining in the organizations. And finally, where I can find more about this. And this is our indication of where we are putting all the collaterals, materials, et cetera, et cetera. As I said, this is a work in progress. We are now deploying the services worldwide. We are starting defining what we have, which technology, for example, MI300X or MI300A or MI300X. We must define because we are developing El Capitan together with ND in the United States. And of course, we have ready the blade of El Capitan. So the idea is if we use the blade of the Capitan or if we develop a specific blade for this. So that is the kind of analysis that we are doing with all of our strategic alliance, with NVIDIA, we have Grace Hopper, you know that, okay? Chaos will be based on Grace Hopper. CSCS in Switzerland is based in Grace Hopper because we already have a blade for Grace Hopper on Cray. Okay, so all this technology will be under a single umbrella, served as a service, and reducing the complexity to have to deliver a supercomputer in a center, because probably if you are a customer in manufacturing area or producing cars in Barcelona, somebody from there here, if you are a manufacturing company, probably you have an exascale problem, but you don't have the capabilities to deliver an exascale machine. For data center, for operation, for cost, for energy cost, or whatever. So that is a fast track to this kind of companies. Nothing more from my side, just if you have any question, you can win a travel to Cuba paid by HPE. No, just kidding. Okay, please, don't be shy. Your question, please.
Are there any questions to Adriano?
Thanks, Adriano. So the question is, so how will, you said that it will be ready by 24, right?
Say that again, please.
This will be ready in 2024, so next year.
Early 2024 in Europe.
Okay,
the first data center.
So it will be sort of like Amazon services where you have predefined templates to deploy something?
Yeah, but the base is imagine the situation in one hyperscaler. Hyperscaler share the workload with a lot of customers. You have one resource, and this resource need to be standardized and shared by thousands or millions of customers. In HPC, specifically in training like this, you need dedicated machine. Imagine the problem for Azure of OpenAI. When San Alma goes to Azure and say, I need 10,000 GPUs. And training is iterative process. So you can release the GPUs and say, oh, I will allocate the GPUs to another company. No, you have to dedicate this workload. So this is cost. And we are solving this gap of this problem because we have supercomputers. So why we are not put our Cray intellectual property in a cloud? This is the idea. We are putting Cray on cloud. That's the idea. You are working in workflows. You know that we have a lot to talk. But of course, we have other Cray machines in Europe and on the world. So who knows about federation? Okay. Any other question? Well, if there are no questions, I will be here, so in any moment we can talk. Okay? Thank you very much.